Hi everybody, welcome to Privies and Prims. My name is Doreen and my channel is about cross stitch, and I also do punch needle, wool applique, and sometimes on a rare occasion I do rug hooking. So welcome everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you my spring creations. I don't have them out yet displayed, but I do have them in here so I can show them to you, and then at the end of the video I will post a picture of them all displayed on my cabinet over here. So I also have a project bag giveaway. I have a winner from last week's project bag giveaway. So stay tuned for that. So let's start this off today. The first thing I'm going to show you is a Teresa Kogut pattern. Now, if I forget who the designer is on any of these, I will put it down below in the on the picture here. So this is called the Egg Collector, and this is a Teresa Kogut pattern. Get it this way. So I'm gonna bring it up close here. Now this is only part of the pattern because if you've been watching me for a while, you know I don't like large patterns. I would prefer to do small ones. So I kind of got tired of doing this one and was giving up on it. And then I decided to just stop where I was and not finish it. And I love it just like this. So this is a wall basket and I got it at a thrift store. That's how it hangs. And then these are from Hobby Lobby. And this was, I think, the year before last. So I don't know if they would still have them. But they don't come pink and yellow. They come, you either buy pink or you buy yellow. So I bought them and mixed them. And I just love this one. So that is one of my favorites. And I think I have the perfect place for it. There is a metal hook up here on my staircase to the loft. And I think I will put it up there. So that is Teresa Kogut, called the Egg Collector. This one, I'm calling it spring. I'm not sure if you would or not. And some of these you've seen recently because this was just finished recently. This is a Pineberry Lane pattern. I think it's called Bountiful. And the trim is from Purple Paper Mountain. It's the mini pom-poms. And then this is how I finished it with my labels. So I got my labels at Ever Emblem. And she is on Etsy. Okay, this one you just saw on my last video. Love this one. This is a Brenda Gervais pattern. And if you want to see the details of how I finished it, go to my last flosstube video and it's all explained on there. But that is a Brenda Gervais pattern. And that one was just recently finished. This one, I am going to have to look it up. So if you like this one, look below on the picture because that's where I'm going to post the designer name. And it's Hopping Down the Bunny Trail. This is a Brenda Gervais punch needle pattern. I'm going to go get my whiteboard to hold behind these, so I'll be right back. Okay, so what it does is it actually, when you put something like this behind it, it takes the focus. The camera tends to focus on a face, and so if you cover your face, it will focus better. So this is a really cute little punch needle pattern, Brenda Gervais. If I can turn it one-handed. That's the back. I just put wool on it, and then my label. Now my labels do come white, and I coffee stain them. And then in the bottom, this is an old antique funnel from an antique store. And it just has a hole in the bottom. Because I interchanged this, I use it also for a winter one and a fall design. So that way I can just keep using the same one. All right, the next one is, I think this is a La Ti Da. And it was a freebie. I changed the colors. I think it had pink. And that trim came from Hobby Lobby. This was a couple years ago. And then I coffee stained it and put a button at the top where the two pieces, like the ends, join together. And for the back, I still have to put my label on that one, but I just kind of glued a piece of this fabric. I cut a strip and glued it on there. All right, this, I know it's either Primitive Stitching or Country Rustic Primitives, and I'll put it down below. A tisket, a tasket, eggs for my basket. And I may have changed the colors on this one also, and then I just put a little rusty safety pin with some buttons. The trim, I'm not sure if that's Purple Paper Mountain, but it is coffee stained rickrack. I coffee stained it, and then I covered the hole where I stuff it with a piece of wool and then put my label on it. This fabric right here is one of the ones I just made a project bag out of. So it's very, it's a very muted red. It's very soft. This one I also don't remember. I'm going to post it on the picture, who the designer is for this one. I made this one years ago. I don't remember when it was. It's just a piece of cotton fabric, and on this one I stitched it at the bottom, which I don't do anymore, and then it's just plain, but I coffee stained it, and I know I didn't count these little tiny squares, so I must have just done it freehand, just like an uncounted cross stitch, but I think I may have done the right amount of X's, but there's no little threads to go in between to count. So I probably just did that one freehand. And then this one is Scattered Seed Samplers. I had to think for a minute. Yeah, so I think I changed the words on that one. I'm not sure, but I think it had something different on it, and I changed it. There it is close up. This was one of the first ones I did because I had just learned to cross stitch, well, come back to it in November 22, and I did this in spring 23. And then I just took ribbon and ruched it around the edges. And this is the back. There. That looks like Osnaburg. I think I stitched this one on Osnaburg. This, I think this is Asbury's Echoes pattern. It's just part of one of her patterns, I think. I think it was a trio. She does trios where there's 3 different little pillows and each one has a different design. And I think this was just one of the designs. And then I put the rickrack around it. And this board I had gotten at a thrift store, and it was already painted like that. And then I just glued that on there. This one is a La-Ti-Da. La-Di-Da. I said T, it's a D. La-Di-Da. And I think it's a freebie on her website. And this is an old, some kind of grater or strainer that I got in an antique store for $5. And then I glued the star and the pip berries on it. And the design, this linen, is just laced on the back. Yeah, you can see that. Okay. So that linen, I am not sure what that is. Some kind of mystery linen, but I'll get close up so you can see it. I don't know what that is. I made this a couple years ago. I don't keep track of that stuff. I don't, a lot of times my linen is given to me and I don't know what it is. And I don't keep like a book of days or anything. And so I don't even write down things. But I am starting to sometimes, like if I've purchased the linen at across the store, then I'm starting to kind of write down what it is, but on the pattern. But I just don't know. I think this is Primitive Stitching. It's either Primitive Stitching or Country Rustic Primitives. Let me get this here. And they're on Etsy. This one is so cute. This trim came with all that buttons on it, and it is from Hobby Lobby. But again, I bought it probably 2 years ago. Maybe last year, maybe 2 years ago. And that is stitched on Osnaburg. The last time I looked, Osnaburg was $4.99 on Amazon, and I will post a link down below. And it may not be $4.99 anymore, but if you use Osnaburg, keep in mind one direction is 40 count and one direction is 36 count. So it's either going to come out taller than the pattern design or wider, but it's not going to look exactly the same as the pattern picture. This is also one of the first ones I did, and it's either Primitive Stitching or Country Rustic Primitives. I will put it on the screen here. It's kind of looking kind of dark. That's one of the first ones I did. That was, again, that first spring, and I don't know where I closed that one at. I must have closed it under here because there's no slit on the back and there's nothing in the seam. So I must have done it under here, which works. That works. This one is a Bird in Hand Primitives design, wool applique. You make the primitive doll to go in, and then you do the wool applique. Now mine was coffee stained, so it made it a little bit more grungy. And I think it had something different on the words right there. And I just put spring 1890. And I think the reason I put that is because I was living in Strasburg, Pennsylvania, in an old house, and I think it was built in 1890. And that's why I put that. I'm not really sure. Anyway, so that is, I made a bunch of these and sold them on Etsy. And that's just cotton. Like, I would buy shower curtains, cotton shower curtains from the thrift store and then cut them up. And that's what I used a lot of times. Okay, this one is punch needle. If you've been watching me a while, I apologize because you've probably seen these last year and maybe the year before. But there's so many new subscribers, and I thank you to each and every one that has come over and subscribed. And we will talk about that in a little bit, but thank you so much. So this is a Threads That Bind punch needle pattern. And I used to make my own horn books, and that's where this one came from. I made my own. And it's got a little dab of paint on the back. Anyway, I cut them when I was living in Strasburg, Pennsylvania. And then I would distress them. And I even have a video showing how I made them that's on my channel. This is another Bird in Hand Primitives. This was her first cross stitch pattern. And I had this horn book left over from when I was making them. And it was a little big, so as you can see, I just put fabric behind it. That fabric is from Hobby Lobby, and it is still available because I saw it there just a couple days ago. And then I mounted the cross stitch on core board and then glued it on and then put the trim around it. That trim is from Purple Paper Mountain. And then just put some old buttons at the top. This little gal you've seen recently, if you've been watching, this is Maggie May. This is Stacy Nash Primitives. This is the back. I still haven't finished that because I put it out on the shelf and then forgot all about it. But that is my Maggie May. A lot of people have asked me about the sweater. The sweater is teal frost. It's the same color that is used down here. And then the actual color of the rabbit, I will have to put on the bottom of the screen here because I don't remember offhand. But a lot of people asked me what that was because the called for color is rather dark. So I didn't want to use that. This one is also the first spring that I had come back to stitching. And this is Not Forgotten Farm. It's called Tis Spring. And this is before, or it, Ah Tis Spring, A-H, Ah Tis Spring. This was before I knew to put Warm and Natural behind it. You see all the bumps? Those are where I have knots because I do use knots when I'm stitching. But now I put Warm and Natural behind it and you don't see that. And this is just an old paddle someone gave me, and I laced it on the back so it's totally removable. And I should probably slip a piece of Warm and Natural up under there, but it kind of gives it texture on the dress. And I shortened her dress because I got tired of stitching it. So I shortened the dress and made the bloomers longer. And you know, when I'm sitting here looking at it like this, I cannot see those bumps at all. Not at all. It's just when you hold it at a certain angle, like there, I can see it on the screen. But when I hold it like this and look at it, I cannot see them. This is also stitched on Osnaburg. And we're getting down here. This was also the first spring that I was stitching. Hold this behind it. This is Sub Rosa Designs. It is not charted as a stand-up, but I decided to try to make it into a stand-up. And then I'll show you the back is just this cute little fabric. And this is, you do it like a drum, only you're only doing the bottom and not the top. But it's done the same way on the bottom. Now, this was coffee stained rickrack. And there it is close up. This is in the candle holder department at Hobby Lobby. And then this was, I forget what it's called, but I got it at Dollar Tree. And it's just some kind of green stuff. It's very, it's kind of soft, like almost moist. But this is candle holder from Hobby Lobby. And every other week they're on sale. I think 50% off. And then it just sits on there. That's one of my favorites. Okay, these I just showed because I just made these a few weeks ago. I just showed these. And I'm going to have to put the titles underneath them, the designer, because I don't remember. I think this one is Country Rustic Primitives. And that's how I finished the back. The trim, they all have the same chenille trim, and it's from Purple Paper Mountain. This is stitched on the Nate Berkus linen. This one is, these two are stitched on Osnaburg. I think this one is Primitive Betty's, and that's a freebie. This one was also a freebie, and I'm remembering now, this one is Sub Rosa Designs freebie, but her design has more tulips and more bunnies, and I just did some of them. And this is what's on this one and the other one I just showed you. Not finished yet on the back. And this I showed last week, just a little glimpse. This is from a, I got it at a booth in an antique store, so I don't know if you can look them up. If they sell online, it's Embrace the Day Primitives. And then this one, I think you're also going to see, yep, you see bumps on this one. This is Primitive Betty's. This was my first sampler ever, I think ever. And this was $5 in her Etsy shop, but her Etsy shop is closed. And again, it's Primitive Betty's, but I did it, it's not really like complete. I just put it in there because I have a Christmas one that I haven't stitched yet, and I think it's the same size. This is stitched on some kind of linen, and I'd have to check the count to make sure that I use the same one. But my plan was to use the same frame for the Christmas one as the spring one. But I never did it. I never stitched it. So that's why it's not completely finished. But it also needs that Warm and Natural behind it. And then I will probably just finish it. And when I do the Christmas one, I'll put it in a different frame. But that is the Primitive Betty's one. And then this I just showed on my last floss tube. But in case you weren't here, this is Pineberry Lane. I had to think for a minute. So the paper mache box is just from Dollar Tree. And This is the lid close up. Part of it is 1/1. You'll see the little tiny, like under the rabbits, those letters 1/1. And then this is just glued on with Aleene's Tacky Glue. And under this, to make it a little puffy, is 4 or 5 circles of Warm and Natural that are glued together. And then it has this tiny little pin cushion that goes inside that I put a little too much dark coffee on. And you can't even see it. You can see it in person. But it's just, I've got some little buttons and a little rusty bell on there, and then I put some buttons in here, and that is that. It kind of looks cute if you display it like this, like leaning up against it. It looks cute like that. But that is just after I glued it on with the Aleene's, then I brushed it with a coffee and let it dry out in the sun. And then I can't forget this guy. And I made him, I'm going to have to look up who the pattern was from because I don't remember. And I'll put it on the screen. He is my first stand-up doll. And I have it glued at the bottom. But what you do, it's very easy. You just put dowels through. The legs are not stuffed. They're just, and they're not stuffed. There's just a dowel going through there. But I love him. And then I used old buttons for his eyes. And his ears have wire in them, so they are bendable. You can, put them any way you want. There, the carrot I made just with some fabric, and then I took, that's a piece of orange wool, and then I took raffia, just plain raffia, and I watered down some green paint and soaked it in there, and then let it dry, and that's how I did the green on the carrot. And I love this guy. And I named him, but I don't remember when I named him. So maybe you can name him. But anyway, that is him, the piece of wood I already had. And I just sanded the edges, painted it, and distressed it. So I think that, unless I have missed something, I think that is all of my spring decor. And now I need to arrange it and put it out. So on to the next thing. I need to get what I've been stitching. Just a minute. I don't even know if I've stitched since my last floss tube. I think I have not because I've been working on project bags all week. But I'm going to show you just in case you haven't seen it. In case you weren't here last time, I have my working copy in here. It's O Tannenbaum by Brenda Gervais. And I apologize to those that watched last week, but I'll show you again for those that are new. I did finish this one section with the sheep and the sleigh. Got that part done. This is Picture This Plus Legacy linen, and I absolutely love it. And I'm outlining the Santa to take to my retreat, which is not this week, but next week. Is that right? Yeah, I think it's next week. Anyway, I'm just going to fill in all this red when I'm at the retreat. So I don't know. I may have done a little bit more since my last floss tube. I'm not sure. I've been heavily focused on the project bags because I'm making them as door prizes for the retreat. And this is housed in my Teresa Kogut Christmas fabric bag that I made myself last year. And I also made the thread bag. I don't use floss tags. That's how I use my floss. Fancy flosses are on a ring in the cabinet, and the DMCs are in a plastic container, and they are all bobbinated. And that's the way I like them. So that's it for my whip. That's it. I have not worked on the Teresa Kogut one with my hands. It's just over there in the basket. I'm not sure when I'm going to work on that again. I wanted to show you something that I bought. I think this is so cute. It's like a little Victorian girls. So for making the bags, you don't use pins because of the vinyl. You use what they call wonder clips, which are these. And they are just little clips. So they are much cheaper on Amazon than they are in a quilt store. This came with 100 in it for $7.99. And I could have got 100 in just a little plastic container for $6.99, but I saw this for just $1 more. And so you can leave it sit out and it still looks cute. And I may actually get another one, I'm not sure, because when I prep, if I prep a whole lot of bags at one time, because I do like assembly line, then I would need more. But I will put a link down below for this. It's on Amazon and it's super cute. Okay, before I show you all the other project bags, let me show you this one. I just made this one the other day. This is a remnant of fabric I bought because I wouldn't typically buy. It's kind of cutesy, and that's not my style. But I'm trying to think of other people's styles, and this was going to be a door prize for the retreat. So it was a remnant, and I picked it up, and I thought it was cute. And I made the bag, and I have the little thread bed in there. It's kind of blending in, but I'll show you. This is the thread bed, and that's the inside. So there is a minor problem with this one, and I don't know if you can see it, but right there, there's, let me see. Can you see there's a tiny hole right there? And I think what happened is I must have hit it with the iron when I was ironing the binding. I must have accidentally, the tip of the iron, like the point part, must have hit that and it melted. But I'm going to tell you, it's smaller than if you've seen a cigarette burn, it's a little bit smaller than that. So it's really small. But so what I've decided to do, because to replace the vinyl, I would have to take that entire seam out, and then this seam where it's attached to the zipper part, the whole thing would have to be redone. So I decided to give this one away today. If you are interested in this, leave a comment with the word Easter in it. And one person will be picked by random comment picker next week, and I will ship this out to you. So you must be a subscriber, you must be over 18 years of age and in the United States. And don't use the word giveaway or prize or anything like that in your comment. Again, and it's fabric from a quilt store, so it's good fabric. And I know that somebody is going to love this. So again, use the keyword Easter and know that it has that little flaw in it. Now, I jokingly said that I was going to call my bags the less than perfect project bags. I decided to call them, I actually ordered labels and they're on their way here already, and they're going to say imperfect whip bags by Privies and Prims. And it's just a little iron-on label that I'll put on each one. Because knowing that when I do sell these, there may be little imperfections. They are not going to be professional, perfect bags. So I am going to sell them at a lower price than others because of that. I'm just learning. My lines are getting a lot straighter, but some of them, the line might be a little wavy. The corners may not be perfect. So they are coming soon to my Etsy shop, and that will be after my retreat. The ones I'm making right now are for the retreat. So this is the giveaway for this week. So couple things people have asked me about in comments when I show the project bags. This is the little snap buttons that I use for the thread beds. And I got it from Amazon. I will put the link down below. And it comes with the tool that you use to press them. It comes with this little thing to poke a hole in the fabric. And then several different colors. And it comes with these little clear bags so that once you open the package, you can put them in a, in a Ziploc bag, but many, many different colors. So I will link that down below because somebody did ask me on Facebook what snaps I use. And if you're not following me on Facebook, please go over there and Privies and Prims on Facebook and just hit follow. Actually have more followers over there than I do here on YouTube. So I'm going to show you, I can show you some of the bags that I've already made. 2 of them are in my car, but let me get the other ones and show you those. Okay, like I said, some of them are in my car because I was going to the quilt store yesterday to get more fabric and I wanted to show them what I made with the fabric, but they were closing so as I was leaving the house, so I left too late in the afternoon, but I'll go back there on Tuesday. So, because I want to get some more of the fabric with the cute campers on it, which I don't have here, but I will insert a picture here of the bag with the cute campers on it, and I'm going back to get some more of that fabric. And so I can make some that would be in my Etsy shop. And I also found a store that has a whole bunch of different camper design fabric. And so I'm going to go, I placed an order yesterday and I will be picking that up soon because it's not too far away. So I did local pickup. So of all the ones I've made so far, well, ones I've made, probably this one is my favorite, but that one's not for the retreat. But I'm talking about the ones for the retreat. This one would be my favorite. And that's the backing. I don't know where I got that fabric. I don't know if it was Quilt Store or if it was Hobby Lobby. I don't know. And one thing I've started doing is I was doing punch needle for a store and they would send me the Valdani threads in these little teeny Ziploc bags, just like this big. And I had so many of them and I kept them because I thought someday I'm going to use these for something because they were just so tiny. And so all this time I've been keeping them, and let me just get them and show you. All right, so you can see how small that is. So what I've started doing is I take a little scrap of the fabric, and then if the selvage has the words on it and the maker and the design, I cut that out and put it in a little bag here with the fabric. And then I write a note, just a paper of where I purchased that fabric. So in case I want to make another bag with that fabric, I can go back and check that store and see if they have any more of it. Or if I want to look it up online, I have the selvage with the words on it and I can Google it, which I did. So this one just has like the website Andover Fabrics. But so I had a piece of camper fabric that was really cute that I had bought one time, and it was in the clearance fat quarters. So I knew they didn't have any more. But I was able to look it up online and find it and ordered 2 yards of it. And that's one of the ones that I am picking up that I just ordered yesterday. So this is what I'm doing now. And if you saw when I showed that in the video last week of the cabin, that little white cabinet that I bought with all the little drawers in it, these are going, that's what's going in one of those drawers. So that will help me in the future. All right, so this bag was actually what I just showed you in there. And this looks red, but it's a very muted, and no matter how far away I get, it still looks brighter. It's a very muted red. I think it's a Civil War reproduction fabric maybe, but it's got little flowers in it. But it's just, I don't even know how to explain the color. It's very muted. So that's one of the bags. And this one, I don't know where I got this fabric from. I apologize if I showed these already. I don't know if I did or not. So this was one of the first ones I made a couple weeks ago, and so this is why they are imperfect whip bags. If you look at that stitching across the top, it's a little bit wavy. I've gotten so much better, but I mean, it's not bad. It's just not perfect, and everybody says nothing is perfect except God, and I agree. It's just I try to get really good quality when, you know, my name's going to be on it. And then this one, and this one's a little smaller. I am making a thread bed for these last 2. They don't have them in there yet, but they are in my basket ready to sew. So the other ones, like I said, are out in the car. So if I haven't lost you already, if you've stayed this long, let me show you what I have ready to make. Oh, first, So I had such a positive response to making the project bags and selling them. And thank you so much for everybody for your confidence in me. Sometimes people have more confidence in us than we do ourselves. Well, I needed some more of the clear vinyl. And I went online and looked because it wasn't on sale at Hobby Lobby last week when I needed it. So I went online and looked on Amazon because, you would get it faster. So by the yard, it was more expensive than Hobby Lobby. But I found a bulk roll of the exact same one. And I'm using, someone asked me today what gauge. It's 16 gauge. This, I bought a bulk roll of 15 yards. And it is 54 inches long. But my nephew yesterday cut the end. He cut it in half for me. You can see it's like kind of burnt from the cut it with a miter saw. So, but that part gets cut off anyway. Not to worry, that won't be in the bag. So this is 15 yards. And this is 27 inches long. So just in case you do this, I'll give you an idea. The finished bag, this size, the finished bag is approximately 10 by 13. This was 54 inches long. So by cutting it in half lengthwise, you got 27 inches. So remember that's 13 for the bags. So this way, you get 2 bags and only go up 10 inches. So it works out really good to, make the best use of it. But the whole entire roll before it was cut was 17 pounds. So that tells you how heavy even this part is heavy. It's a lot of vinyl. But so I have this stored next to my sewing machine, and then the other one, the other half is stored out in the laundry room. So, and I will link that down below in case anybody wants to buy it in bulk like that. It comes out to $4 a yard, and which is great. I think at Hobby Lobby, when it's on sale, it's like $5.40 a yard. But if you don't need a lot, just go to Hobby Lobby. But make sure, every other week it's on sale. So don't pay the $8.99 when you can go the next week and get it for $5.40. Unless you really need it, then, just get a yard. All right, this fabric, and this is how I just have them all in the basket. This is one set. And this set, excuse me, this is a thread bed. Well, there's 2 there because I'm making 2 with the same fabric. So this is a thread bed and the project bag together. This fabric I got at a thrift store. And I think there's 2 yards of it. And I thought it was very kind of Victorian, shabby chic kind of. And I thought somebody might like it because it's pretty. So I'm doing 2 of those, but I do have more fabric to make more. And after this video today, this is what I'm doing. I'm sewing all day. It is to be a day of rest, I know, but these are not for work. These are to give away. All right, the next one is, this is the camper fabric that I'm going to get more of. This here. So this is going to be the back of this bag because this is all I had left. That's going to be the back of it. And then this is going to be the inside of the bag. If you can see, it's got little polka dots on it. And that came from Hobby Lobby. And I thought that it was just a really good match, the color. So that is one. Let's see what else. This one I cut out a whole set to have a Notions bag because this will go in Etsy. But a Notions bag, the thread bed, and the large bag. And this I bought at a quilt store in South Carolina last year. There's the fabric. Very primitive. There is a slight problem with this fabric though. The way it's printed, it doesn't line up completely straight, so that actually this piece looks pretty good. but it might be like straight this way, but not this way. And as much as I try, it was really hard. Let me see if the others are lined up. Actually, like this is the inside of the bag. It's pretty good. But some of it, it was really just really hard to line up to keep it straight. So if you look at that one on Etsy, keep that in mind. It's not my fault. It is the way the fabric is printed. Okay. What else? I showed you the fabric that I got to match the gift that somebody sent me that goes on the arm of your chair. So this is the inside and this is the outside with the little sheep. Whoops, I'm dropping. That has a little sheep on it. Now I was able to look that up and I did find some online, but I don't know if I'm going to order more of it. When you get it online, there was one place, by the time I paid shipping, it was double what I would pay for a yard in a quilt store, for good fabric. So if I see that, I decide not to get it. This is another, I did make one of these already and I don't know where it is. Oh, it's with my bags. Okay, so this is Hobby Lobby fabric. It's the only really primitive fabric I found at Hobby Lobby, but they coordinate, they match. This one I got from a quilt store. And that will be the backing fabric. And that will be the inside fabric. So sometimes there's just not enough to make the entire bag of the same fabric, which is why they're done with a coordinating fabric. This one is going to be just a little notions bag for the one that I bought from Goose. I ordered a fat quarter online of the matching fabric, and then this will be the inside, the coordinating. That is from Hobby Lobby. But this is Teresa Kogut Stitchy Birds. And this was a fat quarter from Hobby Lobby with all little stitchy stuff on it. That's going to be the inside, and this is going to be the outside. There's not enough of this to make the entire bag. And then this one is more primitive. This is going to be the outside of the fabric. It's got little stars on it. Or the outside of the bag, I should say. And then this will be the inside, just plain. But the zipper above and below the zipper will be the main fabric. Let's see if I get all these done today, right? Here is another one. This is the outside, this is the inside, and then the strips around the zipper. That is from my local quilt store. And I think I showed some of these last week. This one is the strawberries. Will be the outside fabric. And that will be the inside fabric. This is the one I showed a couple weeks ago that I sewed the back on upside down. And I took it apart and it's ready to go for me to sew it back on the right way so it's not upside down. And that's how I use the Wonder Clips. Just there's a good example right there. And it holds everything in place. And then this is going to be a large bag of that fabric. That the whole bag will be that fabric with the camping stuff on it. And that I bought some out of the way fabrics with fabrics and beads over near Cherokee, North Carolina. I mean, it wasn't called Fabric and Beads, but that's what they sold. Next, I need to insert, or I think I'm just going to pause it, and then I'm going to do I haven't done the random comment picker for the outhouse bags that I showed last week. I actually have 2 of them, so I'm going to give 2 away, and I will be right back, and I'll tell you who won. Okay, it's a good thing that we are just about done because you can see the lighting is changing. So I do want one more thing to show you that I almost forgot, and I don't want to do that. A very generous subscriber sent me all of these that she has finished with. So some of them I'm going to keep, and some of them are going for door prizes, and the rest I'm going to tell you that when I get to 6,000 subscribers, well, not the rest. I mean, I may have a lot left, but when I get to 6,000 subscribers, we are going to do a giveaway, and I am going to do a giveaway. So I also have another package coming in the mail that I am not sure what's in that, but it's more goodies. And I thank you so much to everyone who has ever sent me stuff to be used as giveaways and prizes. So if you have not subscribed yet, my statistics, the analytics on YouTube tell me that about half of you that watch are not subscribed. It is totally free. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button. That's it. And then if you want to be notified whenever I post a new video, there's a little bell there. You can click on that bell and select all, and that will send you an email or some kind of notification when I post a new video so you don't miss any. So please, if you have not subscribed already, I think I am over 5,600 right now. I'm not quite sure, but when I get to 6,000, we will do a bigger giveaway than, just 1 or 2 little things. So on that note, I did the random comment picker for the outhouse bags. I have 2, and I found one. This is one. They're smaller bags. So if you have a little smalls and ornament or something, you could fit it in here while you're working. I was not able to find the other one, but it's here somewhere because this place is not that big. So I will find it. But I did choose 2 names. The random comment picker chose them. The first one is Nanette McDougall Dykes 9339. Hello, Nanette. Congratulations. And the other one is Robin Bunis, B-U-N-I-S 6792. Congratulations, Robin. So here are the names. And again, that was the random comment picker. So if I don't have your address yet, anyway, contact me by email, priviesandprims@yahoo.com, and I will get those in the mail to you. So everybody, don't forget to leave a comment for Easter if you're interested in that bag, and let me know if you have put your spring decorations out yet. So we are just starting to get warm this week. It's supposed to be like 70 by Wednesday, and today is Sunday. So I am looking forward to it because I still need to get in my camper that's been parked since October and get just a little cleaning out of the camper and everything, and make sure everything's ready to go because I do leave next Wednesday on the 19th to go to the retreat. So I do. Oh, and I have 2 spots open for the retreat. If you're interested, contact me, priviesandprims@yahoo.com. It is $20 per person. It's March 20th to 23rd in Waynesville, North Carolina, which is right next to Maggie Valley. If you're camping, there are probably campsites available. I think all of the rentals are taken if you don't have a camper, but Maggie Valley is 5 miles down the road and has lots and lots of motels. So lodging is available. So contact me. I have 2 spots, and then that will make 50 people because I've had a few cancellations. So that's it, everybody. I will see you next weekend just before the retreat, and we will give away the bunny bag, and we'll talk. So let me know if you've done any spring decorating yet. Subscribe if you haven't. Everybody hit the thumbs up because it helps me on the algorithm, and I will see you next week. Don't forget Easter if you want to win that project bag. Bye.